everybody, and welcome to Reed's Reads Spider-Man Crawl Space Edition. Check us out at the SpiderManCrawlspace.com. Well, I'm here to conclude the Chameleon Conspiracy here with the giant size Amazing Spider-Man one-shot here as we get the end of the Chameleon storyline. Or do we, before Sinister War begins? Let's get to the pros. First of all, the story really kicks off right where last issue left off here in 69. We have this, Spider-Man going in with Ned to find out the palace and everything, as well as, of course, find out that the Chameleons, actually, I should say Chameleon sleeper agents who have impersonated various of the jack-o'-lanterns and other members of the supervillains that are inside the palace are actually trying to get the clairvoyant, and of course Jamie is caught in the middle. The action works really well, as well as the confrontation between Ned Leeds and the Foreigner. I mean, let's face it, if this is the real Ned Leeds, he's got a lot of reason to hate the Foreigner. The Foreigner got him basically set up to be killed, didn't care who he was, and of course sent all the information back to the US to Betty about what had happened to him, including the pictures and video of what his death was. So of course his attack on it actually is really good. It's like the classic person getting their revenge on the bully, or in the old classic buddy cop films when they track down their spouse's killer or their partner's killer, and they kind of get that revenge on it. And you actually have no sympathy for the Foreigner as much as they've tried to work with him in the last couple of years. He kind of really gets what he deserves here. He's getting backstabbed by the people he thought were his friends, which were actually all agents of the Finisher and the Chameleon, and the fact that he's getting pretty much pounded there until, of course, Spider-Man pulls him off like, no, you can't do this, Ned. You have too much now to live for. Don't do this on the Foreigner. And, of course, he stamps back to reality as a result. So it's a very interesting storyline. And also there's some nice little pieces, exactly what Jamie actually explains how he learned about the palace, really reasons why he got with the clairvoyant, but the fact that he, of course, had other abilities to actually avoid all this, and why he doesn't confess to Spider-Man that the fact that the reason why he jumped in on this was because of his mother's sickness and his sister, but the fact that he actually explains what got him caught up in this mess and how he found out about the palace is kind of a nice little piece. And the fact he actually does the right thing by giving up after they, of course, saved the palace from 100% crashing into the city and getting away with everything, that, of course, it's all set up, and he gives the clairvoyant away to Spider-Man to take care of. But that kind of leads to the cons. First of all, one of the biggest cons is this was a lot of constant setup for quite a while. This has been going, everything with the Chameleon was set up since, the Craven hunted storyline with the clone son of Craven taking back over, and Craven being put back to rest like he should have been in the first place, never brought back to life. But we see the conspiracy and all the sleeper agents, but really, what is the Chameleon and the Finisher's true plans? We don't really get that, especially the fact that he wants the clairvoyant basically to set up operations and put on pieces. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And of course, the revelation of Teresa Parker as one of these Chameleon sleeping agents really wasn't a shock. We had the setup for him at last issue and so forth, and the fact that she convinced herself and all the manipulations. And of course, in the true grand fashion, the points of my origin isn't about who I am. It's what I choose to live with, as she, takes the clairvoyant from Peter and destroys it to avoid everything, and says that she's Teresa Parker and she's going to, of course, live that life. The Finisher and the Chameleon are in the background. And of course, the big little twist when it's revealed that, of course, that Kindred is, of course, involved with the Chameleon. The Chameleon needs gives him a type of serum, which most likely is the face-changing ability, and the fact that he's been working with them in the past, and the fact that Taskmaster and Black Ant, Nick Spencer's favorites, are being used by the Foreigner. And of course, the Foreigner doesn't realize his girlfriend, Silver Sable, has already cleaned out the money that he had left over, because, as they say, don't scorn a woman's scorn. Shouldn't have taken her money there, Foreigner. No. The artwork is also pretty interesting, but unfortunately it also loses points here. Between the dark areas of the Chameleon and the action scenes, it looks great, but then it falls into parts when they have different shifts in artists. All of a sudden, Teresa's got a different hairstyle, which you could throw out the excuse that, she's a Chameleon sleeper agent. And also some things. The origins of the Chameleon and how he got taken away with his disguises and everything from the Kravenoff family. We knew about this. This is just give it a couple more pinks about how the Finisher came in with the different KGB pieces during the Cold War and a few other things, which are okay, but it wasn't stuff we didn't know. In fact, we knew about the things with the sleeper agents for the Chameleons way back in Spider-Man Unlimited number 11 when Ben Reilly was originally Spider-Man, when he met the Skull Jacket, who was part of the same area. They just had to upgrade his technology to RNA scanning so he could take the memories of people that he impersonated, so that way nobody would really know the difference between who was the fake and who was the real. So the truth is, this is all stuff that's been built upon for quite a bit areas, but we still get to the point to where, once again, everything kind of drags everything, and really, when this is all said and done, really, I don't feel like much really came out of this, just more setup of Sinister War with the what Kindred's big plan is, which is more things thrown out and everything. For all we know, is this is Harry Osborn, and the fake one we saw there is a sleeper agent, which means it's all connected. So Neil, your little conspiracy angle paper, I think is going to come in really handy. I'm going to give this story a C+. It was enjoyable. There's a nice little conclusions. Even Jamie gets a couple areas, and of course the backup features with how Doc Ock actually recruits Kraven the Hunter in the new Sinister Six, and also the fact that how he's going to be able to get the Lizard into this, and we don't know what's going to happen with Hydra Man until we have issue 70 in the next couple weeks. So I'm going to give it a C+. It wasn't bad storyline. It wasn't really a dud, but really it just kind of spun and spun and spun to the point is what's the big plan and everything else. And here we are with basically revelation that Teresa Parker really isn't a Parker. She is a chameleon sleeper agent. The finisher, of course, which was established way back in the Amazing Annual number 5 about his sleeper agents working with the Red Room, everything with the Black Widow, the Chameleon. This is the stuff people know about if you're a big Spider-Man history. For newer readers, it's probably a nice revelation, but this is stuff we've already trended on. And like I said, nice little nods too also to Ben Reilly, since we know he's coming back here in October as Spider-Man and Spider-Man Beyond. So C+ from me. And on that note, everybody, that's it for the month of June for me. I hope everybody has an enjoyable 4th of July. I will talk to everybody later as we review issue 70 and, of course, Sinister War Part 1. And for more information, guys, go ahead and check us out on the SpidermanCrawlspace.com for everything Spider-Man related, and also check out our social media channels. And on that note, everybody, I'll see everybody later on the Crawl Space.